Oh shit, we here. Goddamn.
Yep.
Press buttons. Press buttons. Loud noises. Loud noises. Oh shit, we got somebody else. Mike!
Hey!
Hey, what's up, y'all?
God damn it.
Do not trust the process.
Challenge. We got a 6-pack challenge. Let me hit the intro.
We
welcome.
got 7.
Oh yeah, I forgot. We got a half. We got a nugget over there. So
yeah, 7.
So welcome to another edition of Wrestling is Trash, a nonsensical wrestling podcast where we talk about professional wrestling, past, present, and quite possibly the future. Joining me is a whole bunch of motherfuckers. So some that you have may have seen before, some that you may have not. And for those who have not been seen before, we shall let you do what has traditionally been done by those of you who have never been here before. I said a lot of shit just then. Let me take a sip. So you, sir, down here in the middle, I guess, I don't know what the combination is looking like, but yeah, you just held your beer can up. You got a New Japan 20 count to introduce yourself and let everybody know who you are and what you do and whatnot. So go ahead and kick it off. I think Goose did. I think he froze. It was too much.
Too much.
Well, Other B, you go ahead and you kick it then. You introduce yourself.
Me? All right. Well, I'm Botch TV. I do a lot of wrestling, mostly WWE 2K stuff. And I basically create my own wrestling show and be my own Vince McMahon through the WWE 2K games.
All right. So go ahead, Goobs. You go ahead and kick it out too. Introduce yourself and let everybody know where they can find you, what you're doing, all that other shenanigans. Goobs is dead again.
Everyone, that's Goop. Soul talks when he talks.
Yeah, he's Canadian.
Levels, derail spot. Fuck.
Oh, Goobs, your connection is in and out. So what we like to do here that usually fix it, log out, then log back in, and it usually correct itself.
Technology.
Yeah, you got to hit that fresh reset. But gentlemen, while we're trying to figure all these shenanigans out and get everything going, I like to say to everybody here in the chat, everybody that's here in the group with me, how y'all doing?
I'm doing awful. I'm doing awful. I got to spend 3 days.
We good?
Not so bad.
Hanging in there. That's all I can say. Is hanging in there.
So, for my gentlemen down here in the lower left, Carl and Brian, OG Brian.
Yes.
I already said it the other day that I might be going up to Rhode Island, which is funny because Nick is not there anymore.
Yeah, what the hell, man? Yeah. I'll go to Hollywood on us and move.
Where are you going to Rhode Island for?
Well, I was going to go anyway because I wanted to go to the Comic-Con.
Oh, I only lived there for 3 years. No, you got to get your own hotel room now for SummerSlam. No.
I said it's a might. I said it's a might, and then I don't even know if I can do it now because of all the shit that we got going on. Speaking of SummerSlam, I done used up all my motherfucking vacation time.
Shit. Oh, man. That would have been cool if you came down for Comic-Con.
Maybe next year.
That's always the way, B-Rob. You know, it's like you use vacation like early and you go, oh, yeah, you know, this is going to be good. This is going to be good for spring break. And then all of a sudden, you know, SummerSlam, Las Vegas. You're like, crap.
Yeah. Yeah, SummerSlam is what put me in the negative because I'm going to North Carolina.
That's
for a
right.
little while. And then I'm going to Seattle for my anniversary. And then he just pop up out of the nowhere like fucking goddamn Toasty Mortal Kombat shit. Like, hey, it's gonna be in Vegas. And I was like, word? I got some vouchers. Let me cash these bitches in.
Cash it in, motherfucker.
Exactly. That's exactly what happened. I cashed in my airplane in the bank tickets.
Airplane.
But we do have a lot of things on the docket. Speaking of SummerSlam and all these other things, Brian, I wanted to bring it up because I was screaming. Is Goobs in here? There he is. Because I was screaming at the feed that y'all was doing for UWO when y'all was talking about the either the buying or the selling of WWE.
Ooh, I like this. I like this. Let's hear it.
All right.
Yeah. So now you brought up a good point because I never thought about it this way as well. Because you was talking about how they might be ramping up because they might be buying another company.
Yes.
So what were your thoughts on that? It was a MLW or something like that, right? Because I mean, historically, even when me and Nick was talking about it a while back, I was like, WWE does not do anything with anybody unless they gonna slide them in their catalog or whatever. You know, slide them a little bit of dough. Be like, hey man, this is our goodwill and fellowship. We're gonna shake hands or whatever. And then when you least expect it, hey motherfucker, I know you can't pay all that money back. You mine now.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, like I said, I originally I got the idea because I was scrolling through YouTube one day, and I saw Eric Bischoff did a promo on 83 Weeks on one of his podcast shows, and everywhere I heard it from the moment the releases came. Dave LaGreca himself on Busted Open said that I've worked for banks, and when companies like this are making like mysterious moves and like are liquidating people and trying to get as much like stock and equity within itself, that usually they're trying to sell it off. So that right there was the trigger of, all right, sell. And I heard it from like every YouTuber, almost every podcast is bringing it up, blah, blah, blah. Then I'm listening to Bischoff, and Bischoff brings up the point where it's like, you know, Vince's job every day that he is alive is to make money for not just himself, but also his stockholders and for everybody else around him. So maybe something like this with Vince doing all these budget cuts isn't because, you know, he's willing to step away, because we can all see based on like what we're getting right now, literally live on Raw, that he has, you know, he's doing it his way no matter what. Exactly. So to me, it's like, all right, maybe he really isn't selling it. Then Bischoff brings up the whole thing about buying. He goes, if you're going to buy into something, especially an established company that's like currently active, which is why I brought up Ring of Honor, MLW, that we floated out Impact. And then I also threw in the fact with the whole New Japan deal. Like, think about it. New Japan has had a working relationship with Ring of Honor, with AEW, with Impact Wrestling for years now. What has WWE been teasing for the past couple of years is that they're trying to get into the Japanese market. And we all know New Japan has a stronghold there.
Yeah.
By the exclusivity deal, to me, it comes across like, no, maybe they really are trying to buy something. So maybe this relationship with New Japan, and we all know the new guy who came in, I don't know if he's the president or like chief branding officer for New Japan. He's been the guy who's making a lot of decisions that over the past couple of years, some New Japan fans, and I know we have some serious ones in here, can say that, you know, it's a little bit different than what we're used to with the old school version of New Japan. Yeah. And he's been trying to force his way into the American market. Yeah. Maybe this is WWE ramping up to do something big, to have the financials to buy into New Japan and say, you know what, you guys have New Japan strong here in America. Let us run that for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, it could still be under it'll be under the WWE umbrella here in America, but it could still be a New Japan product. And it also goes the same way with MLW. It also can go the same way with Ring of Honor. And I see with Ring of Honor alone, you buy that just for the library. Anybody who knows the wrestlers that have come through Ring of Honor, between like the Bryan Danielson, Samoa Joe, CM Punk, AJ Styles, Amazing Reds, Christopher Daniels, Kaz, hell, Kenny Omega was down there. I literally bumped into him in Boston. You buy that library within itself. You know what I mean? So maybe WWE isn't trying to sell everything off just by liquidating these wrestlers and these executives and internet people. Maybe they're trying to buy into another company. Yeah. That was just my theory on it.
Yeah. And then you bring up a good point about New Japan, or just trying to get into Japan, period. Because they're already loaning out, was that Io Shirai for Shine or something show out there, right?
Oh, Kyrie.
Yeah, Kyrie. And then Kyrie's there. Io was supposed to be there at one point when she had the title. She was supposed to go do a show. So they had that aspect of it. And we always heard that they wanted to do a NXT Japan as well. Yeah. But you know, I don't think Japan would allow that to happen. So, I mean, you would probably have to buy into what is already existing. And if they do handshake and partner up with New Japan, all that shit with Impact and ROH and all the
AEW
other
is
motherfuckers,
gone.
that shit is gone. And that's why I said Impact that one time. I said they could buy Impact just to be petty, you know, because they would
could, trust me, Impact.
Because they would kind of own Kenny Omega, the AEW champion.
True. That would actually be real interesting. That would be real interesting.
Ooh, just imagine how pissed Eddie would be.
Oof.
That'd be the best rant. That'd be the best rant since your burial of Mark Henry.
Facts.
Hey, what do you think about your boy Mark Henry in AEW?
What do I think?
Well, I guess everything.
Anyway, go for it.
It was a surprising move. I found it to be very surprising, but I think that AEW can benefit with somebody like Mark Henry, like something that Brian and I discussed. He's, a big man who can work with the big men in that company. He can actually help those big men work from a TV perspective because, remember, he's been with the WWE for 25 years. He knows the, ins and outs of like in-ring production.
Mm-hmm.
He knows about like facing the hard cameras. A lot of these guys just basically came from the indies. Whereas like, sure, like a lot of TV shows have indie, a lot of these promotions have like TV deals and stuff, but they don't really like know like how to do it on a high production level. So with somebody like Mark Henry working with the big man and actually helping the other talent with that, with that in-ring and production and combining those two elements together, I think they can prosper with that. I think, Mark Henry can definitely prosper.
And I think that's going to help them sign talent because, as we all know, Braun Strowman got released, right? Mark Henry helped bring him in, big shows there. You got to assume that dude's going to sign with AEW. He always said, whenever I'm done with WWE, I'm done. But you got to assume he's going to go to AEW, right?
And then, we can isolate that statement. He said that, early 2020?
Yeah,
a lot of shit has happened between now and then.
Right.
A lot of shit. I mean, people are prone to change their minds in different situations. But who knows? I mean, there could be some smidget of loyalty there somewhere, that he feel like that, hey, they saved me from poverty and everything, and they put me on and they gave me money, the job, experiences and, and some connections to an extent. So there could be a loyalty factor there. But, you leave that company, they let you go. That loyalty can only last for so long until when your ribs start sticking to your side and shit,
Money talks.
Well, it's like
Tony Khan got plenty of it.
It's like with Mark Henry. Like I never thought that he would go, knowing how loyal he is to WWE. I never thought Mark Henry would go, and then next thing you know, he's on AEW.
Yeah,
and
I thought that changed when he started doing the busted open shit.
Like I was like, wow, Mark Henry. Like he would have been the last guy that I would have thought. Same thing with Big Show. Like I didn't think Big Show would ever leave either. But look,
yeah.
But
I think it's the thing though. I mean, they have goodwill with that company, but it's not like to the level of the Undertaker to where they can go do signings and all this other bullshit, and WWE wouldn't even bat an eye at that. But you let motherfucking Mark Calloway show up to goddamn StarCast, and they're like, oh, hell no, player. Hold on.
That is Vince McMahon. Other than WrestleMania, that is Vince McMahon's greatest creation. If anybody's gonna bank off of that, it's gonna be Vince.
Yeah. Now
and rightfully so. Like we say, okay, Nick goes off, uses the wrestling as trash, makes $1 billion out of it, and B-Rob, who came up with it, is not going to catch us, not going to get a cut.
Yeah, you know why? Because he's going to Rhode Island when I'm not there.
No, whenever you go home to visit, that's when I'm gonna go.
If you see how Mark Henry signed with AEW, can he talk?
Oh, we got places for you, Rob.
Can Mark Henry even talk bad about AEW on Busted Open now? Like, I'm not trying to be funny. Like, can he actually? Like, do you think there's something stopping that?
Well, I think that because I've listened to Busted Open a few times, and I just I love hearing like Mark Henry's opinions and Bully Ray's opinions on, just everything. Like the way that they talk about wrestling, obviously they're very knowledgeable, and Mark Henry just brings something to the table. I think it doesn't necessarily save him from speaking bad about AEW. I think he's going to be constructive, and because there's a lot of fans out there that love to hate on AEW. Just for the sake of hating on it.
Well, it's just like how you said earlier before we went live.
Yeah.
Wrestling fans are the worst, and wrestling fans will hate on wrestling.
Right, exactly. Like, I think I can't tell you how many times I scroll through Twitter and you get those WWE marks that defend WWE to the brim, almost like it's their grave, or somebody's got a gun held to their head, like, don't say something bad about WWE. And then you got the same with AEW. When we all look at it, I mean, we're all wrestling fans here. Like, wrestling's wrestling. You watch what you want to watch. So it's I'll never understand wrestling fans, man. I never will. I never will.
Well, okay, but can I say this, Bosch? Like, I was thinking about this too, because I think I want AEW and I want WWE to get better, because I'm someone that kind of craps on both products, sometimes particularly Raw. It's like I want there to be
goddamn problem, Mike.
I know. I'm part of the problem. I know I am. But it's like I didn't even follow AEW botches until last week, and I'm just amazed at what it is it's just the production of it. It's not even the fact that these like so-called botches happen or different things like that, but it's just the fact that the production could be strengthened. And I think, to your point, Bosch, talking about guys like Bully Ray or talking about Mark Henry, they're really going to enhance the product, and they're really going to help that, TV production value, because a lot of these people, they're kind of in the indies and they're really good and they really love wrestling, but they don't always know how to showcase it, and that's why you have the fireworks sparklers going on. That's why you have Jericho falling into we'll just say boxes, the box botch, different things like that. I mean, there's certain things that go really well with AEW, but unfortunately, it's just those production things that don't quite, make sense. And so if those things are enhanced, I mean, they have the product, they have the TV deal, they have the wrestler enthusiasm and people with experience to really make it work. And I want it to, really get to that point. But especially now that there's, 20 to 25 injuries or whatever that I've seen here and there since AEW's existed. I mean, that's a lot in a short amount of time. So I just hope that it gets safer and it gets crisper, as a TV product.
WWE's big problem
we all do.
is just WWE's big problem. Ultimately, in my opinion, is they just repeat so damn much. And I know Brian does Raw. I think you do Raw Facebook after Raw every week, right?
We did for a while. We actually did the show yesterday. I guess it was a little bit more convenient, but personally, I love doing our show during Raw because it literally gives us a reason to watch it.
Yeah, because if not,
aside from that, like I was talking about the other day, like I'm not invested in it. Nothing is like forcing me to watch Raw. Like there's shit that I like I like Riddle just being random. I don't like the fact that Randy Orton now looks like EC3 though. Like spitting image. But you know what I mean? Like I'm cool with Lashley holding the bell. I have nothing against anybody there, but like it's not interesting for me right now.
But
like it's not something I got to dedicate 3 hours to watch on a Monday. I'll watch it when I can. But
hey Dan, like we see you here, we know you here, but we don't see you on the camera.
My camera's on too, but this.
Yeah, I can see him.
I see him.
I see him now.
You see him?
Oh,
Rob, about to smoke the fat.
All right, so
up,
I can
everybody?
see him on the small screen. I can see him on the big screen.
I think the biggest issue with WWE or just Raw in general, or is what I've seen is because I'm a big storytelling guy. I'm a very creative writer, so I always think if I was in charge for Raw for a day, how would I do it? And that's kind of how I think. But me, the problem is like I can't remember the last time like I was invested in a feud in a feud that was happening. Besides I thought that the Jey Uso and the whole thing with the Tribal Chief that's going on right now with Roman Reigns, I think that's great. But that's on SmackDown. But like the issue that I have is like it's like you have matches that end in DQs constantly, or you have the same match over and over and over and the story doesn't evolve from that. Like, they don't have like a plan of like, okay, if like this is where we're going. Like, they don't have like a long-term plan. It's always like a short-term thing, and it's almost like they forget what happens in the middle. Like, they have a beginning and an end, and like it's sort of the same thing. For example, they did the thing with the Miz at Elimination Chamber where they had him cash in, winning the title, and then having him lose it to Bobby Lashley like the Raw after. It's like, what's the point of that? What was the point?
To keep Drew strong.
Yeah, to keep Drew strong at the moment.
Yeah, that too, and it's just like it's a reward thing or whatever. I mean, Miz is a good employee, and why wouldn't you add the accolade to his stat sheet? So, I mean, I don't know.
Or WrestleMania rematch on Peacock, a whole pay-per-view of just like WrestleMania rematches that pretty much would have happened on the Monday Night Raw after Mania anyway.
Right.
You know?
Y'all hear me?
Sure. Yeah.
I can't hear you there, Dan.
I hear you.
Can't hear me, can
you hear?
I hear you.
A little bit.
What the fuck?
You're
Nobody.
I hear him
Oh,
fine.
yeah.
All right. Why only
Damn,
P-Rock
what, am I fucked up?
Damn. You gotta flip that studio upside down. No, I wanted to add on to that because I think
it's like Kung Fu Theater over here. I see his mouth moving and shit, but it's like the words coming later.
Nah, but what I think it is that the WWE and having a fucking pay-per-view almost once a month or once every 2 months.
Stop moving.
Right.
Yeah, no, I agree.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I'll
like,
go out and come back in.
Because AEW does 4 pay-per-views a year. I think 1 a quarter.
Yeah, 4 pay-per-views a year.
And they make those feuds go realistically once a quarter. Whoever you're feuding with, for the most part. They don't make it drag. That's what it is. You see constantly. Like, when we first found out it was Drew and Bobby, everyone was like, oh, fuck yeah. And then, like, now everyone's like, I'm over it. Which, they were dumb. They were dumb by even giving Kofi the chance to fight for the title. Because they knew everyone would want Kofi to win and fight for the title. So they did that to themselves. So 1, I don't feel bad. But 2, they finally might not be dropping the ball. And I think it's honestly finally going to happen. I think we're really going to get Brock and Bobby.
Okay.
Right.
Now,
I mean, yeah, I do agree. I do agree with that. Like, having the 4 pay-per-views a quarter. Like, do you guys think that if WWE were to not have a pay-per-view every month, like maybe every other month, or maybe even go AEW's route and only have a few every year, like, would that help, like, keep people invested? Because obviously we've said before that people aren't invested in Raw right now. There's no reason to watch Raw for 3 hours.
Yeah, I don't think so because of, remember, WWE also appeals to more casual fans. Right. AEW is the hardcore fans.
Right.
And with this world that we do live in today, I don't think, especially the casuals, do not have the attention span. We don't. We listen. If you see a Facebook status for like 3 paragraphs, are you going to read
it? Hell and no.
Good point.
Exactly. People read tweets all day. That's only 160 characters.
It's 280.
I mean, nowadays, just people in general.
It's 280.
Yeah. It's 280 now?
Euros.
Yeah.
That's the thing. People just don't have the attention span, so they need these. We need things now. Like, we're Amazon. We order it, we order something from Amazon. 2 minutes later, we're checking the tracking.
Yeah, hey, man. No lie, dog. It's just damn.
And then DoorDash after that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I just ordered some motherfucking shit off of Amazon or whatever, and I was just like, what is this 2-day shipping or whatever? I wanted the next day, motherfucker. They got
we wanted the minute we press confirm. So that's the thing. Everybody is so much into a rush nowadays that WWE spreading, having 4 pay-per-views a year, which back in the day I used to love, but it won't work in today's society.
Microwave generation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's because I'm unemployed and I have nothing else better to do, so that's me talking. But I just think for me, like, obviously I'm younger, I'm 22, but You know, like I think for me, I just value storytelling because I just love a good story, whether it's a movie or a TV show. And yes, there's things like that obviously, like Mike was saying, how he criticizes both products. I'm the same. I'm the same way. Like I watch wrestling, I'm gonna nitpick at this or I'm gonna nitpick at that. But I think now that I've heard you explain it, you're right. I don't think it would work because nobody has that amount of time in a day to watch wrestling continuously.
But also,
Yeah.
what I'll tell you is this: so moving from the East Coast to the West Coast, I don't have cable. I have YouTube TV, but like at 5 o'clock here, when it's 8 o'clock on the East Coast, Raw is on, but I can't watch it here. So I just see what's going on in Twitter, or I'll listen to a podcast after, and if something's good that I see from Twitter or like someone talks about, I'll watch what I can. SmackDown I can watch live on an app. I just think if you don't, it sounds as crazy as it sounds, if you don't watch it continuously, it makes it a lot better.
Right.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And you watch the storylines you want, like, so you can be invested in Drew and Bobby all day. It's Drew and Bobby can be great, even though it's been a zillion months long. But it's everything else. Like, you got Elias. You got friggin' all these other fools. Like, you know what I mean? Like, no one cares about that.
Right.
First off, that's what you get for moving to the West Coast.
or as it's like SmackDown, it's kind of like a TV show. You know, SmackDown feels like a TV show, and Raw kind of feels like this chore that is almost like, I don't know, watching some movie, and not like, let's say, a Marvel movie or some movie you're really into, but one that's like, 3 hours long. You're just trying to get through it. Whereas, like, I've been at, pizza joints, I've been at bars or whatever the case may be, and SmackDown's playing in the background almost like a football game, almost like a, baseball game or, the soccer match from last night or whatever. And it's entertaining. I feel like it's done to be like compelling and entertaining. And I tend to like the storylines in general, even Dumb Reginald and all that stuff. It's at least entertaining. Whereas with Raw, it's like, Lashley versus McIntyre 17. The winner is going to be in the 18th match, and then the winner of that might win the 19th, and it might matter at the pay-per-view.
Right.
Now you just brought up a person that I want to get y'all general consensus on. Motherfucking Reginald. So
Reginald. Yeah.
Honestly, I think he's pretty good. We never seen him go up against a guy though. I mean, he do great shit with the girls, but what is this dude's shelf life? How long do you think this guy's going to stick around? Because I think he's pretty good.
I mean, for me, I look at it like this. I haven't seen this man do one wrestling maneuver. I've just seen him do parkour.
Yeah.
Like, for real. Like, I don't understand if this guy knows psychology. I don't know if he knows how to grapple. I don't know if he knows how to lock up properly. You know what I mean? So, like, to me, he's just a gimmick right now. It doesn't mean that he doesn't have the opportunity to go and learn something and, actually become a wrestler. And if he would, it would be great because I think the dude's phenomenal. Like, what he does is amazing. Like, the way this dude can move and flip around and duck slide, wrap it up, flip it, rub it down. Oh, no. Like, this dude is good. He's good at what he does. I just don't know if he can wrestle. Like, if he can figure it out and they're actually training the dude, I can't wait to see what he becomes in like 2 to 3 years.
Well, from what I understand, he is actually a wrestler. He's like a general.
Yeah, I know he's developmental. Like, I know he signed a developmental deal a couple of years ago. But I mean, like, I want to see him actually do something. You know what I mean? Like, not just, be like the bumping guy for all the women and try to be Nia Jax's booty call.
Hey.
But he slammed Shayna Baszler. You seen that?
Yeah, you got some going. But you
want to see what he can do? Why don't you have him versus Bad Bunny at SummerSlam, or something like that? I mean, that'd be two guys who never really have done it before. Of course, Bad Bunny showed some flashes. He was pretty amazing.
I'm not going to lie. I would like to see that. I would like to see that.
I would watch that, yes.
Bad Bunny has sold me. He sold me.
He did. Reginald, as somebody who lusts after Nia Jax on the regular, I hate him.
I only hate him because he gets the opportunity.
Yeah. You hate me because you ain't me.
You know what? That's what it is. I'll be man enough to admit it. You got my baby on hostage.
At least you're man enough to admit it, though.
Yeah.
I am.
All right. A thing that I want to kind of touch on or whatever. New Brian was talking about how WWE was mismanaging their shows and their talent to an extent. So all these guys and gals they just let go, these free agents. I know OG Brian and them were talking about it last night on the show about where they want them to go and all these other things like that. Me personally, because I was screaming it into the phone, in my head because I didn't want to do it out loud at work.
Telekinesis.
I was like, I don't want none of these motherfuckers. And I told New Brian this as well. I don't want none of these guys that just got released to go to AEW. None of them. Not a now one of them. I mean, at least not right now. As the roster is right now, none of them bitches should be at AEW. They should be somewhere else.
Only
Agreed.
Yeah.
I'm with you,
Yeah.
but only if any of them, only Buddy Murphy, because his body type and size matches the roster that they already have. The one person, though, I don't know if anybody was going to go there just yet, but the one person that I want to see fulfill his tweet and retire is Braun Strowman.
Mm-hmm.
Because in some respects, I was a fan of his, but then it became fuck him because I found out about him and his ridiculous right-wing ways and thoughts that he likes to spit out loud. Number two, most importantly, the way he shit on all of the independent talent out there and everybody that was trying to make a living off of wrestling and the independent talent he was shitting all over. And then now look at your ass being the company kiss ass man. Your ass is now out on your ass. Hopefully, I don't wish him, to be in like poor and destitute or something like that. I hope he got enough bank saved and then go back to strongman because fuck him in wrestling. And that's all.
Yeah,
strong man.
You know for a fact, either him, someone showing up at All Out because their 90 days ends 3 days before the All Out pay-per-view.
But I hope not him. Not just because of what I said, but it was because of what I said about Buddy Murphy. Mm-hmm. There are no monsters over there. AEW is not the monster factory of Disneyland WWE. So who is he going to fight? He's going to run the same type of thing with Miro, the Murder Hawk Monster, and Camarado.
Hangman Page.
Luchasaurus.
Yeah, Luchasaurus. Well, actually, I said that.
Wardlow.
Hager.
I ran down those same names and stopped at those last two. So he's going to only really run a program like that, and then guess what? Then go over there and be the Big Show and have to fight the little Eddie Guerreros. And then his style just don't work to me over there.
If Strowman showed up in AEW, he'd be right in the title picture scene.
If Strowman showed up in AEW, I would be mad as the fuck.
I would too.
I'd be like,
I honestly think that Buddy Murphy, and Tommy End, who's Aleister Black, could benefit because, like, Aleister Black, like, just his character, him, like, I'm just imagining him.
Aleister Black and Abaddon. There you go.
That. Or something with him and Darby, whatever it is, just a match between those dudes. Or something with him with the Dark Order. Like, he can take that Dark Father gimmick that he had and just go full on.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense or whatever. But like, I think Dark Order or people within the Dark Order even put that statement out. There's like, we don't even want that shit. He was like, nah, player. Brody Lee was the first and the last.
That was the same thought that I had, though, was because it makes sense. Because they just, and this is WWE and their lovely statements from Vince McMahon saying they can't get anybody over, yet it's only their own fault. You just repackage this guy and then you cut him. So it would make sense to make him become in the Dark Order, but the Dark Order is now a fun-loving face group. So do we really want that now?
Yeah. No, but
Brian,
I was just
Brian. I see you shaking your head down there.
I actually came across this. I think it was in like a tweet. It was in a tweet or an Instagram or something, but they proposed that John Silver does an Incredible Hulk gimmick with Braun.
Oh, I saw
that.
It sounds funny, but nah, no thanks.
No, I wouldn't.
No, please no.
Well, here's my thing with the whole Tommy End and Dark Order. I mean, if they're to do it, I'm not opposed to it. I'm all for it. Like, it could be something where, like, how you just said, do we want that right now? Right now, no, because the Dark Order is getting themselves over. Everybody's starting to look like legit in their own ways. We're still waiting for fucking Silver to come back from his injury. Stu Grayson, who is phenomenal in the Dark Order, is just coming off of an injury. You know what I mean? They're still working the whole thing with Hangman, trying to work him in slowly through like BTE and stuff. They got Cabana. Uno's doing his own little thing right now. Like, he's fighting Miro this Friday for the title and shit. I can see totally bringing him in a way that, the Dark Order, yeah, and 10 too. Thank you for reminding me, because 10 is a fucking stud. That boy is good.
10 is amazing.
Yeah, that boy is good. That boy is real good. I think there's going to come a point with the Dark Order where it's like the funny gimmick is going to run out. You know what I mean? And that would be the good time to slide them in. Like, we all see how -1 acts. He comes out there, and he's beating motherfuckers with kendo sticks, and he's having fun or whatever. Eventually, maybe in the like you said, B-Rob, not right now, but maybe in the future, they can come a point where they're like, all right, now we can work with this dude. Now it's the perfect time to bring him in. Like, maybe he takes a year off and goes and does New Japan or whatever, and tries to conquer over there, or because he is light enough to be part of the Super Juniors. You know what I'm saying? So he can go over there and make a name for himself while he's there. The deal with AEW, bring him over, and -1 could be like, you guys are having too much fun. You guys aren't winning enough for me. My dad wanted you guys to be winners. And if you don't think you can be a winner, then I got to put somebody in charge that I know will make you guys winners. That's when you bring him in. Something like that, storytelling-wise, would make a lot of sense. That's why I agree with both of y'all on those statements. But eventually,
I didn't think of that.
Would be a good fit there.
See,
I didn't
like
think of that at all.
I like
That's ill. That's ill.
That's awesome. I didn't think of that because,
I like the way to bring them in that way. That's the thing, guys. Is that when it comes to people debuting the company, I like more of a surprise. I like for that kind of thing to happen, as opposed to, I gotta be honest with you guys, it's good for Andrade, and it's kind of a power move and stuff like that. But I gotta be honest with you guys, I'm sick of these guys coming in and being like, you know what, I don't need that other company, or I don't need to be that Connecticut whatever, I'm gonna be the face of AEW. It's almost like I am the tag team champions, that thing from years ago. But it's like every guy from WWE is just like, I'm the tag team champions, I'm the face of AEW, I'm the face of AEW, and it's just. I don't like that as much as I do guys debuting in Dark Order, or guys, attacking someone. It's like, hey, man, I'm the best in wrestling. It doesn't matter about that.
Yeah,
for the love of God, guys, can Tony Khan please cut promos better? Like, it is just so bearable to me. You know what I mean? Because
I love Tony Khan promos
from Connecticut. And I'm just oh my God,
Dan,
please do
you
a second
twerking
take.
on the camera there, boy? Dan up here twerking on the camera.
No, I'm not. I saw a spider that just ran down out of the
I don't blame you, bro. I'm surprised you ain't throw your goddamn phone.
No, I got into murder mode. I broke. Before I kicked off my appearance of my connection is trash, I had to go get my computer because I was representing the brand in the wrong way with all the spotty-yaddy dopeliciousness that was my internet connection. But then, the spider just came out of nowhere. The shit ran down my ring light, ran down the back of my computer, ran over my AirPod case, my phone, and then the back of this thing, everything is sitting on. And I was like, no.
You ain't throw that shit off the goddamn video.
Old me.
And that storytelling, Mayor, is actually more compelling than Raw tonight.
Well, in fairness, Ricochet and Burton was good.
Yeah, I actually I was peeking glimpse of that. That looked sick.
The Spanish fly outside the room was pretty good.
Well, old me would have been like Ricochet. Old me would have been like Ricochet and doing 350s and 360s off of my porch away from that spider.
If you can get on TV, that's the challenge.
I was on here working, right? And B-Rob.
Now let me ask you guys some questions.
More than Ricochet, on camera more than Ricochet, that's for sure.
Now we're moving into like SummerSlam and all that shit coming up around the corner. Now, I think it's pretty legit how they're talking, it's happening the night of that Pacquiao fight. And I don't know if you heard, it's going to end by the time Pacquiao fights, which is like 11:20 12, like 11, 11:30. So that's crazy because this is their first show. Like, yeah, they had WrestleMania, but this is going to be full capacity. And they might not cut it short, but at least it's not going to be 8 hours. That makes me happy. But, like, what do you think they really got up their sleeves? Like, they're saying they're going to have Cardi B host it. You're hearing Brock and Lashley. You're hearing Cena and Roman. Like, how much of that do you honestly think's going to actually happen?
I would love it for all of it because, I mean, that would be huge.
Hey, Bob. Hey, Bob. Don't be putting that video on my shit, goddammit. I'm going to be there. I'm going.
The stadium's a dome. You don't have to worry about that.
That stadium looks beautiful, by the way.
Yeah, it looks like a big ass freaking.
It's like a big ass
like the Death
curtain.
Star.
No, it's like a what?
The Death Star. The Death Star.
Yeah, it's the Death Star.
It looks like a big ass version of those robot vacuum cleaners.
Yeah,
Roomba. Yeah.
It's a big ass Roomba.
No,
It's
but
the
so how much
it's
of
the
that
Unicron Roombas.
How much do you think of that actually happens?
For
I don't
them,
know.
I would love to see Brock and Lashley. I'm not going to lie. That'd
Not
be
gonna
good.
happen. Brock don't want smoke.
No.
I want it to happen.
Yeah.
I want that to happen though next year at Mania, not so soon. I need Bobby to run with that belt for a year.
Agreed.
But,
But can it start
To-
building? Can it start
yeah.
building at SummerSlam though? Like I'd be alright if the build started. Like maybe it's just this little like Easter egg, and then it ends up being of course ramping up after Rumble and getting to Mania and stuff like that. But I'd be alright with like kind of like a run in or kind of an attack or something like that where your Brock is back and you just don't really know where it goes.
yeah.
Yeah,
You
like
know-
that's how they end the show or something, or something like that.
SummerSlam needs to be the moment where where Bobby Lashley and Roman cross paths. Just give each other a little.
Yeah. Because that's going to be that's how they starting to do Survivor Series now. Is going to be
Right.
man for that, which they eliminated bragging whites, which I thoroughly enjoy.
So wait,
They
now
eliminated bragging whites.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so now that
Hey man, I've been drinking. Shut your horse mouth.
That's all it is. It's
but
not the Survivor Series anymore. It's been bragging rights for like 7 years now. But I want to post something that I posed on the show yesterday, right? And this is why I think, unfortunately, everything you said, B-Rob, is probably going to happen. I'm going to ask y'all this. Who currently on Raw and on SmackDown is credible enough to take on Bobby Lashley and to take on Roman and be a legitimate contender to the point where they sell out a 67,000 people stadium?
no,
Because if it's going to be full capacity, they got to shoot for it. My question is, who are these people?
So my opinion, there's only two people, and one, and it's Edge. But Edge, in my opinion, because I kind of have a little card here. What I think Edge and Rollins is finally going to happen at SummerSlam.
My counter to your Rollins is he's still in the middle of a feud with Cesaro, and Rollins hasn't been around hasn't done much since Survivor Series because he walked off on the team. He took time off to have the baby. He came back. He had his little promo thing. He attacked Cesaro. He's been in that feud.
Yeah, but
Is
so
he
I don't think
worthy
he's gonna do
of
it, though.
getting that spot?
He's not going to fight. No, I think he's going to fight Edge.
Okay.
Hey B-Rob, I have an idea.
I think no one on either show.
There's one idea, B-Rob. You know what it is? The Undertaker. That's who that is.
Get out of here.
As the resident Undertaker fan, don't even want it to happen.
Exactly.
Make an appearance? Yes, cool. I'll be happy to see him.
Hey. No appearances.
I don't actually want that.
I'm cool with an appearance. Get in the ring? No, because
the only and last appearance this motherfucker need to make is when he taking that damn ring and he fucking doing his Hall of Fame speech. That's the last appearance this motherfucker need to do.
Or he comes back as Mean Mark Calloway.
Or he comes back with my foot in his ass. That's no.
So wait. What?
He can only come back as Mean Mark. That's
No.
it.
I got breaking news, everybody. I got breaking news. Shelton Benjamin is not fighting Cedric Alexander this week on Raw.
All right.
We need OG Brian.
Thank you.
Statement.
Change has come to America.
So wait, Brian, So wait, Brian, what was your scenario though?
For me,
Yes.
Yeah, well, you were
no,
saying-
no. It's just the fact that I agree with the rumors. I mean, like, what else is there? If you're going to sell out a stadium, you got to bring back Cena, and Brock Lesnar's a major draw. Like, to me, like I said, with all due respect to everybody on the rosters, you can go through both shows. There is nobody built up to make to look like a threat against Roman at all. And then on Raw, you're just doing merry-go-round with Drew McIntyre. Like,
I
who
honestly
else?
could see
Maybe
this.
Sheamus, but
I could really see like Vince being like, Brock, you're gonna come and fight Lashley in the opening match, and then we'll give you tickets to the Pacquiao fight. I think, and like I said, I might be a little biased because I know like I'm gonna go as long as I can get a ticket. But like, I think they're gonna make SummerSlam bigger than Mania this year because of the capacity thing.
Yeah.
Like,
It's like 70,000, something like that.
Yeah, like 60,000 plus
like,
4.
I think Becky Lynch is
The new stadium. The new
Yeah.
stadium.
The Raiders, right?
Yeah, the Raiders.
Yeah. It's only Brock. It's only Cena. I mean, Edge is a potential candidate, but in the only other motherfucker, and I say motherfucker with just the most venomous of venom, is motherfucking Goldberg.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
So wait. Wait,
No.
wait. I was gonna get into that actually. Before
No,
we get into
let's
that,
not
but
get into it.
No,
I mean,
but
I
we're
said it
still-
enough.
No,
and
Vince
it
probably would be
pains me to say
Goldberg,
this
yes.
shit.
No. We're all sleeping.
Don't put that evil out into him.
We're sleeping on one person. He's NXT's hottest talent.
Karen Cross.
My man, Malcolm Bivens. That's my man.
No, hold on. Time out.
Time out. Did you see?
Nick, wait a second. There is only one person that is currently on NXT that has any inkling of being a star right now, and that's my boy, to the moon, Cameron Grimes. That's my dog.
Now I got something because we was throwing out fan theories earlier, and while I was driving, oh my goodness, what the fuck?
Wait, so I tweeted Malcolm Bivens yesterday.
hell?
I tagged him. What are you rocking for SummerSlam? And he sent me this.
Rocking the Marcus Houston transparent.
The early 2000s.
He's got the best
All right.
Twitter game. He's so funny.
So to tie in, because while I was driving back from the store, Brian mentioned the whole when you guys were talking about the buying, Vince McMahon possibly buying out somebody. My dream in this whole thing to make this whole head of the table shit push along with some effectiveness.
All right, see where you're going.
MLW.
Buy out MLW and bring in my boy Jacob Fatu.
Yeah. See, and that's a throwback to
can't
what
get
OG
the
Brian
Rock,
said. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they can't get The Rock. Bring the next best thing, in my opinion, that's currently active, who's a fucking animal, who's phenomenal in the ring, and could use that shot in the big time and wouldn't get executed like these motherfuckers that just got executed last week.
Oh shit. He would daggone. That would be a great moment for him, but at the same time, it would be the downfall for him too, because we all know, even if you don't know, motherfucking Jacob Fatu will run circles around Roman fucking Reigns.
Absolutely.
And you put them two in the ring together, embarrassment, because all Roman Reigns is gonna do is spam his motherfucking Superman punches. And goddamn,
And his freaking
maybe do one power bomb or some shit like that, and then he gonna talk shit the whole time. You know,
And
in
then-
his current incarnation.
And then he's gonna be like, acknowledge me, and the whole
Yeah,
thing.
acknowledge me. Acknowledge me.
Only Kyle was
At least-
here.
Hey, y'all gonna
At
hate
least
me,
I'm
but-
not the only one tired of it.
Hey, we're gonna go back to it because y'all gonna get mad, but I don't care. To this Goldberg shit. My man has 2 matches he's got to do a year.
That's what I'm saying.
He already did one. I think he'll only fight at SummerSlam if they can't get Brock. I think.
Damn it, Nick!
You know how
Wait,
you,
they get who?
Damn it!
you know how usually like, oh shit, we need someone to be champion, break glass. Lesnar comes back. I think, oh shit, we can't get Brock. Goldberg.
Yeah. And you know what I mean?
Yeah, but think of the crowd
Wait, is that
popped
what
up
you
for
were gonna
Brock.
say?
I mean, what's the lesser of two evils though? Is it
Wait,
Goldberg
time out.
and Roman or Goldberg and Lashley?
Brian, is that what you were gonna say?
No, I'm just mad because you're right. He does have to do another match. Fuck.
And why? Unless
Put
he
that
does
shit on
another
In Your
random
House or
match,
something.
unless he does a random
I don't want to
match,
see that again. That's a high quality show. It's an NXT takeover.
Last one.
No,
Last
They're
week,
always
we talked
good.
about that.
unless he does some random match like he did at SummerSlam 2 years ago with Ziggler, like maybe just to get a win because he did lose, and we all know Goldberg's not a humble guy and wants to win. So unless Goldberg goes against someone and wins, what?
Riddle.
Well, hey, what about this, guys?
No,
When you talk about Brock,
see-
you talk about crown pops. What about the fact that Double or Nothing, and events like that are held in like Vegas? That's supposed to be like sort of like the bigger shows. Do you think that Vince McMahon and WWE and that whole juggernaut is going to basically pity the heck out of this show and try to do some of their biggest moments and their biggest things? Like, yeah, well, we were bigger than AEW in Vegas.
Yeah.
Oh, they're gonna try. They're definitely gonna try to do that.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's,
they will definitely try.
it's
Well,
two
they-
competitive companies, so why not
What do
try
you
and top
guys-
the other?
What do you guys think of SummerSlam? Because Drew's on the poster, so he's going to have a match of some sort. Drew and The Fiend. And The Fiend interferes in the Hell in a Cell match. And that's what starts that feud.
Drew and
It gives them both something to do, and Drew is away from the title picture like he needs to be.
What bigger match? I low-key think The Fiend is, in my opinion, there, but if not going to be, like, well, if I'm not fighting The Undertaker at Mania, I'm going to be fighting The Fiend. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm not in the title, I'm fighting The Fiend. And I think that's, like, the best you can do for Drew if he's not in the title.
Yeah, I see that. I mean, I didn't think about it until you were explaining it. Yeah, I could see that. I mean, I'm curious. I don't know. I want everybody's opinion on this. Who do you guys think Lily is? Who do you guys think that Lily is? Like, because Lily can't just be a stupid doll. Like, it's got to be building up to something, right?
My whole thing is just like, Nikki Cross is back or whatever. And despite all the phenomenal promos that she cut before the Rumble and all this other bullshit or whatever, it seems like they just fell back into old hat. So damn, Lily is going to be freaking possessing Nikki Cross or some shit like that.
I would love to see that. Like, because the whole Twisted Sister thing with her in NXT, like, I always wanted to see something more for Nikki Cross, and I'm kind of sad that she hasn't had anything. I think that she deserves to have something, and she's won the 2 Beat the Clock challenges. So,
well, she survived the 2.
Well, yeah, survived the 2. Yeah, that's the whole. But she's got something right now. So what better momentum to have than have her get possessed by?
That's what I'm saying. She cut those promos before the Royal Rumble because she was out for
that one promo that she posted on Instagram.
Like, they're overlooking me. They're doing all this bullshit, and she come back clapping hands and doing all this silly shit again. I mean, what the fuck?
I'll say this: I pray to God it has something to do with Nikki Cross because this new bubblegum pop theme music is just like, what are we doing here?
The Breakout, her new theme. Yeah, I don't like it.
Horrible. Doesn't fit the character whatsoever. It's like, she was the loony, crazy chick that was down in fucking NXT and played it to a T. You know what I mean? Like, she's perfect.
Her old theme was so much better.
The old theme was the best version of the Sanity themes, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Right.
To me, it's like, the girl can play she could definitely play a great character. And to me, it's like, if anything, when it comes to Lily, I know it sounds fucking crazy as hell to be talking about this on a wrestling show. I want her to be like a possessed demon that just like literally transfers from body to body, like Chucky or whatever. Like it dies in one doll, goes to another one, like something like that. And like it embodies Nikki for a little bit, and then say after Nikki it moves over, or actually it could start off with Shayna Baszler because they're doing that little tease right now. Like hopefully it gives Shayna Baszler like a psycho killer edge that we all know she has. And then eventually it transfers over to Nikki Cross or it goes to this person.
That would be cool because like I was disappointed. Like I don't know how you guys feel, but I'm like disappointed how like Shayna went from being this badass in the Elimination Chamber to losing to Reginald. Like, what the hell happened?
This motherfucker came in here biting bitches' necks.
Literally.
Like, what the
and then
hell
now
happened?
she's going to be on what TV with Lily or something? Or no, she's going to be like she was going to be like in the Playhouse or whatever. Now she's having to either save face on Twitter or actually be tough, and maybe she's going to go in there and destroy the whole setup or something. I don't really know, but yeah, there's all these like repackagings that happen that just don't make sense. Like, why not let Shayna continue to be the badass? I mean, Rhea Ripley isn't coming out being like lollipop girl, and stuff like that. So I mean, you can keep a character consistent if you want to. Yeah, and it just seems like whatever reason, like Skipper Bobs was saying, that most of the new music sucks.
Like Keith Lee.
And look no further than Keith Lee, who they decided was basically Brock Lesnar, but we changed a few notes. And then all of a sudden now he's maybe going to explain himself or not, but that's another different story that's lost in the process, and it's like, I feel bad for these guys.
I really do, because, like, you see them, like, I don't know how much you guys watch of NXT, but you see them in NXT, and, like, you see Keith Lee in NXT, does amazing, and then all of a sudden just goes. Like, and it's and like, I'm scared for Karrion Kross once that happens. It's inevitable.
Now, that I'm glad you brought that up, because this is something that I wanted to talk about when we were talking about, is WWE buying or is WWE selling? I think OG Brian, I talked about it on your show,
Camille,
about how your boy is down there with the other Khan, Nick Khan. He's down there at NXT, pilling through their roster for people that
Bruce's, that
they're gonna bring up to Raw and SmackDown and stuff. My question is, if if WWE was to sell themselves to another company, my thinking was, how would that affect Shane, freaking Stephanie, and most importantly Triple H? My question is, do you think Triple H has enough pull, enough clout, or enough sway to convince them to sell the NXT portion to him and let him run that as a separate entity away from WWE proper?
No.
Do I think that he has enough pull to do that?
Yeah, or even just to even throw it out there as an option.
I'll say it like this. I think he would have the balls to do it. Like, I don't think that's something that, like, all right, let's say the scenario is that WWE is selling to, we'll say Comcast, right? Because Comcast is a huge market and they'll make a shit ton of money. We'll use the fact that they're selling like 57%. So that way Comcast is officially majority owner. But the original, like the core group of, let's say, Vince, Linda, Shane, Stephanie, and partially Hunter, are still a part of the deal as the other 43%, right? If we're doing it like that, I can see, Vince saying to Hunter, before we make this deal, if you want this as your deal, or Triple H going to Vince and saying, look, if you can make it a part of your deal, what I'll do is I want to buy NXT from you. You can own all the digital rights and all that stuff. I can see him doing that. Will it go through in the sale? Most likely not, because I feel like anybody who's buying into WWE who understands their product knows that this is all under the WWE umbrella. You're getting Raw, SmackDown, NXT, you're getting the libraries, you're getting the network, you're getting WWE Studios, you're getting WWE ice cream bars, you're getting all of that shit. Like your name, that is you now. I think if the deal like that goes on the table before a sale goes in, quite possibly could happen. It could be Vince's little gift to Hunter saying, here's your deal. I also think that Paul Levesque could sell his portion of stocks and either make that pitch, or depending on how much of a percentage sale it is, I wouldn't be surprised if, using the resources he has down in NXT, once WWE is sold, he begins his own promotion. Contracts, depending on what the new company is going to be, that contracts are going to change. So, like, even if they make the sale and say, Hunter, Stephanie are still in charge creatively, we all know eventually, business-wise, moves are going to be made and they will be bumped out of the door. I think Hunter would be smart enough to pull some money aside and be like, look, I already know how to run my own production. I got my boys down here. Say they get released, I can pick them up. I got the talent. I'm already there to make that connection. So to me, it's like, could he make the deal? Yeah. But I think he's smart enough that, God forbid, WWE was to sell, he'd be good. He'd start his own thing. He'd probably be the true rivalry with AEW could be rekindled with Hunter. because Hunter's an NWA guy. That's why NXT to me has always been so good, because it's presented to us like old school NWA. You know, and then like you were saying earlier, when it comes up to the main roster, moving up to the main roster, it's Vince's vision. That's why guys like a Keith Lee, like an Andrade, like Aleister Black, like Ricochet, who we all know are talented, go up there and they're just floundering around. Because it's a whole different system, even though it's still under the WWE banner. But yeah, I think a deal could be offered, but I think he's smart enough, like I said, start his own shit.
One, I don't
I'm
like.
on the fence with
I don't
that.
like. I was gonna say because I don't like. I personally would think if they were to sell, he would take his portion and be retired. Now they run the promotion kind of like an NWA. I can see that, but realistically, is NXT is so successful because one, they have talent that we like to see, but two, he allows the talent to kind of, in some respects, dictate what they want to do in certain respects. Kind of like how AEW was running. They get, the wrestlers have input there. It seems that they have input in NXT, which is why I was personally saying recently, I hope none of like the mainstays of NXT ever go up, like the Ciampas, the Garganos, the Coles, the Bronson Reeds, or like I hope those guys never go up because Keith Lee is your shining example of where you can end up.
Well, I mean,
But into the sale aspect of it all, I don't see Triple H putting in the effort to want to restart a brand all over again. I think he would just ride off into the sunset with his money, stay retired, and then if he wants to, maybe consult in certain companies. I wouldn't want to see him running, even though he would be successful. But who would you be able to pull out of that NXT WWE roster to come with you?
So,
that's where the problem would be.
What's going to happen is WWE's going to sell, and next thing you know, you're going to see a thing that says Paul Levesque is all elite.
That could be it too.
No, but what do you guys honestly think's wrong with Keith Lee? Like, do you think it's like a creative thing? Do you think it's a health thing?
Honestly, I don't know. I hate to speculate stuff. He just kind of disappeared, We didn't know what happened. I assumed it was an injury, but I assumed that he would be back by now. He's been away since February?
Creative. 80% creative, 20% health, because he had COVID and all that.
Yeah, he did have the COVID shit or whatever. But I believe he suffers from the majority of the independent guys that make a name for themselves and they sell out to WWE. You don't like that shit,
Or could he be the possible? Could they be saving him for SummerSlam?
We hope so.
Just
if anything, him and Bobby is money.
Here's the thing. MVP can come out, cut a promo. All right, we've been through Drew. We've been through Kofi. Who is left? Nobody in this company can do boom Keith Lee's music.
Here's one thing before I run though. The difference between Keith Lee and Braun. Keith Lee ran through the Indies. So if he were to leave, he would be good. Mm-hmm. Braun, I'm out, y'all. I got to go. Peace.
Take it easy.
Hey, guys.
Know. They just need...
I'll tell you one thing. With Triple H, I'm definitely on the fence. Like you UWO guys were saying, I think that he is someone who, first of all, I think about with WWE, would they actually want to care, like when it comes to a sale, like let's say, do they care that much about NXT as opposed to the $1 billion deals we've seen with SmackDown and different things like that? Eventually, maybe, but I don't know that they would necessarily, like let's say the new management or new group or whatever that's in charge would necessarily get rid of NXT. Maybe it's something they keep for a few years. They see that what they're able to kind of develop, and then of course the big deals, the $1 billion kinds of things go on. I'll tell you one thing for sure though, when it comes to Triple H, guys. He's got to have a better gig than showing up to Philadelphia 76ers games where they get their butts kicked by 20 points after he comes out. It's got to be better than that.
He brought the wrong sledgehammer.
Yeah, I mean, I believe NXT is the best thing that WWE does.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Continuously,
whether it be
yes.
NXT UK or NXT proper, I mean, hell, even fucking 205 live main
Yeah.
event is better than fucking Raw and SmackDown in some aspects.
I don't know about SmackDown.
Hey,
SmackDown's pretty good.
I don't know about SmackDown, but I'll agree
I
with you
said
on
in
Raw.
some aspects.
With Raw, yeah, I'll say that.
I said in some aspects.
I'll say this when it comes to SmackDown, and I say it on the show all the time. Aside from Roman, whatever he's doing, and maybe Seth and Cesaro,
Bianca.
right now, nothing else on SmackDown interests me.
No,
Bianca,
I'll
like I
be
said,
honest. Bianca doesn't really interest me right now.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, I'll be
Roman.
honest. Bianca doesn't interest me either. Ever since she won the title, I don't know. It's just I don't know if it's her character or what it is, but she's just never been appealing to me. I don't know what it is.
Here's the answer. What is she known for? Being the EST. You can't be the EST if you ain't working.
Yeah.
She's doing more talking than wrestling.
Mhm.
The reason why we love her is because she's great in the ring. The girl's phenomenal. She's a beast.
And I told you that, and I told you that a long time ago. It's just like, what's your boy, curly hair motherfucker, Sam Roberts. He was right. There's something missing from Bianca.
Yeah,
you know, unless she chasing or just being this fiery baby face or whatever. I mean, she is not good at top of the mountain right now. Right now, what she's doing is not really good. I mean, I'm pleased with it. I mean, that she made that accomplishment, but it's just like, all right, she did it. So I mean, what
now?
She's
What
holding
now?
down the fort.
Well, and that's what I said in the broadcast before WrestleMania. I should probably be on Twitter at some point for freezing cold takes because I was so sure that
You're right,
Sasha was
Bob.
going to win.
Let's not get crazy with the main event take that I had.
I was so sure, right, B-Rob? And you said, well, hey, maybe this is the beginning, or maybe this is something bigger for Bianca. And I was like, I just don't see it. I think the whole thing would be what now? I just don't know what she'd be chasing, what she'd be going after when she's already, the EST, like the BEST with the championship and everything. And I think it's kind of here we are, guys.
Yeah. Well, we all know where the money is after this for Bianca Belair. And y'all have heard me say it for the longest of fucking times. It's that goddamn ponytail. Whenever they get into the feud to where that motherfucker is coming off, a hair versus title match, a hair versus hair match, anything involving that motherfucking ponytail is going to be career defining for Bianca Belair. For the person that cuts it off, or if she cuts it off herself, it's going to be that whole metamorphosis is going to be fucking phenomenal.
You think they're gonna? You think at SummerSlam they're gonna run it back, her and Sasha, or do you think they had someone like Bailey in there? So maybe like Sasha.
Triple threat.
Yeah.
Probably. I'm more with the triple threat.
I think.
What about Ronda Rousey coming back and being the one? Rock, ending the streak. I mean, wouldn't that be like so polarizing and just kind of crazy?
I
mean, but here's the thing about Ronda though. Like, I respect her and her accomplishments, obviously in the UFC. We know her as this badass in the UFC, and everything else. But my whole thing is I don't know if she's really picked up what wrestling is in terms of like character and everything else. Like I feel like if she were to come back, she would have to have something like compelling. I mean, she basically took Roddy Piper's gimmick and that's what it was. And that was it. But like and she was great and her match was like great in the ring. Like she was fun to watch, but like you also have to have that character too. You have to have that character. Like you can always improve on in-ring stuff. Like you can always train more and train more and train more. But like I feel like if your character sucks and like I'm not invested in you as like character-wise and you don't give me a reason to hate you or to care about you, then I'm not gonna care what you do in the ring regardless. So like
true. Well, I also wonder about Becky Lynch. Possibly being that person to kind of spark the hair versus whatever match, because I mean, that'd be huge. She was the man or is the man and could certainly, kind of continue to build that persona. I mean, obviously, she went and had a child and so it kind of put her like on hiatus, but I mean, she could very well come back and be the man. I thought for sure she'd be Raw after Mania.
I think if Becky was to come back, she'd go after Rhea.
That would be
She
dope.
ended up losing her
Yeah.
father around that time too.
Yeah, that's true. She did.
Yeah. But yeah, Ronda's just pretty much done. A, she's pregnant, and B, she actually quoted in Digital Spy that she didn't like WWE's active traveling. The travel bug got to her. And not to mention she's a sore loser.
I mean, personally, for me, this is what I would do, especially when it comes back to like the whole Bianca thing. I would have her go against Io Shirai. Io's been on television for a while. Have that be her debut match. Have her take the belt off Bianca. And then you can literally run the whole gimmick of, you want to talk about the EST. I've been the EST female wrestler in the world for years. Number one in the world for years. And she can start going through that because we all know they're going to run through the same people over and over again because they have a limited roster. But you can have her go against Bianca and shock her or whatever. And then, like B-Rob said, she can start going on a downslope to the point where it's like, all right, she takes a couple months away from the belt. Io starts going on a tear, starts destroying somebody. Eventually, you get Bianca back up to Io. By you get to that time, say she loses the next match. Then you can do something with the hair. And you can talk about, put the hair on the line versus the title. You know what I mean? Because the hair thing right now, as good as it is, and trust me, I'm all for it. There's no reason for her to put the hair on the line with the title. Yeah. And it would help re-get that juice back to her because technically Io is a heel. I mean, even though we all love her, she's technically a heel. And how Vince says, I don't pay attention to what happens in NXT. You know what I'm saying? But like, you can
I didn't think of that, man. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good shit.
You know what I'm saying? Like just to give like it gives Io like a great debut, and it also can give Bianca that jump start, especially now that we're going back with fans. Because if they're going into it right now, the fans are still like we all said.
And then RK Bro can win the tag titles.
That's inevitable. I feel like that's inevitable.
You want to see it.
Going back to what you were saying about the whole ESC thing, like I think that would be good because like for Io, like for Bianca, she's all about the ESC. Like I'm the greatest, I'm the bestest, I'm the thing, and then Io just comes in and is like, "Bitch, I've been doing this thing for forever." Like, and then Io, like every time I see Io on NXT, it's always a banger of a match. Doesn't matter what she's in. She always has like some way of making it a banger of a match. I mean, we saw what was it? When she won the NXT title, was it in your house with Rhea Ripley, I think? Was it one-on-one with Rhea Ripley? Yeah, that match where she like did the moonsault off of the house thing or whatever it was, like whatever she did off the house thing.
On Io soon as the motherfucking beat drop.
First of all, her theme music is fire.
I have it on my motherfucking phone. God damn it!
I gotta put that as a ringtone. But no, the reason why I throw Io's name out there is because, like I said, they're going back on tour, right? You know what I'm saying? They're going back to the audiences and having live crowds again.
Starting in Houston,
Yeah, and Io is credible enough that, you could put her in front of any audience, and no matter what she does on any given night, the crowd's going to pop. That's different than trying to debut, fucking Jessie Kamea or fucking trying to debut, Amber Moon. At least with Io, she's credible enough to be like, yeah, this chick's bad. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the fans who know her always know you're going to get some good shit.
Like, that was... like, just imagine as soon as the beat drops and the whole crowd just goes bonkers when she comes
that's
out.
A banging entrance.
That was just...
it's almost akin to when Shinsuke got the new music or whatever. I was just like, "Whoa, this is it."
The heel. Are you talking about his heel?
The dude playing into the ring, right, with like the 2-minute violin solo. Yeah,
either or for Shinsuke, but it's
the rap one got old real quick because there's no audience participation in it. Like they can use it now, nobody cares. But now we got Bugenhagen, we're good. Bugenhagen, we're good.
That's right.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of? I know it's so random, but just thinking of Shinsuke Nakamura and his theme. What do you think of Pat McAfee on commentary?
He's entertaining.
I like him.
I love how he goes nuts when Shinsuke comes out.
I like him. I like him because like he reminds me of like me because I obviously being younger, like I love wrestling. I eat, sleep, shit wrestling, and I go nuts over it, and because doing what I do, for my streaming and doing the play-by-play commentary where I play the matches and I play against the AI and I'm commentating the match, I have to be, even though that I know what's going to happen, I have to be exciting. And I love, the whole, oh my God, the whole thing. And just with Pat McAfee and how he is, it's like, I just love that because, like, to me, when I see a commentator enjoying the product, like a fan, it makes me enjoy it.
That's what it feels like.
Like Morrow did. I mean, I feel like Morrow, he's like this great professional, but he loves it too. He really loved it, especially when he was on SmackDown.
I got one for you. And I was actually thinking about this the other day, right? First things first, thank God they got rid of Adnan. That dude was horrible.
Oh, yeah.
I love the fact they got Jimmy Smith. I think Jimmy Smith is very entertaining.
I heard a little bit of him earlier. He sounded pretty good.
Yeah, he's pretty good. I got one more person, and I want SmackDown to make a 3-person booth. And anybody who knows this man knows why I'm saying his name. Aside from the fact that he's a huge wrestling fan, I want Michael Cole, Pat McAfee, and give me Chael Sutton. I would love Chael Sutton to be the third commentator on Friday nights on SmackDown. I think that would be greatness on that show. The guy loves pro wrestling. He's a bad guy in his gimmick in MMA. He knows his shit about pro wrestling. He's a diehard fan, and he's a commentator.
I gotta hear him.
Huh?
I gotta hear him.
Oh, dude, if you ever heard anything he said to Anderson Silva, that's literally him cutting wrestling promos. He said it. He goes, I stole this from Ric Flair. I stole this from some of the best. Like, this is who I am.
So you send me some videos.
Oh, I'll throw some on as soon as we're done. Thank you, DC. Gabe knows what I'm talking about. Trust me, anybody who knows Chael Sutton, he would fit perfectly on WWE commentary, especially with the deal with Fox.
Well, especially him with McAfee. I mean, like, that right there would be some good interplay, I promise you guys. Even though I've never seen the two together, I think it'd be good.
Like, when you get people that love the product, and not that are not just knowledgeable, but like
because it looks like a pummeled version of the Miz.
Yeah, but when you get people that love the product, that are not only knowledgeable but they love it, it makes the fans like it. Like I remember watching, what was it, Backlash, and I was watching it at my buddy's house, and there was these two of his friends that have never been into wrestling before. They've never watched it. I have never seen two people that have never watched wrestling in their life ever be that entertained by wrestling, ever. Like, they were shouting and screaming, and I'm like, I think I'm the weirdo when I do that.
I'll say this, younger Brian, this is older Brian talking to you, and Nicholas, we always throw you into this conversation as well because you are a young boy. But Mike, you are an older gentleman. I see the little salt and pepper going on. Mr.
There
Bird,
you go. He's got the beer going.
Mr. Bird, you're around my age. B-Rob.
Hey,
You know what I'm saying? So we'll explain this to you through this way, right? I'm going to say some names.
Okay.
The reason why, as a wrestling fan growing up, we loved it is because we had Vince and Jesse. We had Bobby and Gorilla.
Right.
Yeah.
We had Joey Styles.
Right.
We had Tony and Bobby Heenan. We had guys when they were on commentary, not only calling the matches, but were having fun calling the matches. Like, there's one name, and he annoyed the shit out of me, but when I watched him listened to him do commentary during matches, he actually got me hyped up, was Don West. Don West was annoying as shit, but man, he gave you goosebumps when he called a match. Like when they were getting to that crescendo and that match was like ready to pop, Don West, he was like on cocaine 24/7. Like, you know what I mean? And when you get commentators like that, wrestling is fun. Am I wrong?
No, it's true.
No, you're right on all of that with Don West.
That's
yes.
another combination right there, JR and Heyman.
Yeah,
that was good too.
He was a good too.
So when
Cole gets a lot of flack, but Cole is good.
Cole is good.
Oh, Cole's good.
Yeah,
The rated RKO memes.
Yeah, no,
It's mostly Cole's.
This is my thing with Michael Cole, and it's nothing like we can all agree that Cole's a good announcer. He's been around for years. The thing with Cole is, and this is why I always say is the problem with WWE, is that it's systematic. They need a systematic change. the commentary is always the same. You know exactly when you're going to commercial because they're going outside the ring. Will this guy have a chance to come back? Find out. You know what I mean? Or like, we'll be right back. Like, it became so robotic with Cole that no matter who you interchanged with him, Cole always sounded like he was boring as fuck because he was just paying attention or he's promoting something. You know, this match is sponsored you by Snickers. You know what I mean? Like, it got redundant with Cole. He never showed any personality. He was just like this the entire way. I used to have the same problem with Josh Matthews. Josh Matthews is like this the entire way. Everybody else is going up and down. He's just like, and that's my problem with Cole. He's not bad.
I'm sorry, this generation. Yeah, Matthews needs like a flatline shirt, not because of his wrestling move, but because of his commentary.
Yeah,
very flat.
Tom Phillips got released a few weeks ago, actually,
which is shocking to me too.
I was,
he
was really good,
Brian. Is that Michael Cole? I was like, I wonder how long he's been doing this. So I looked it up and I went to like his Wikipedia. He's apparently like the president of commentary or like the vice president officer of commentary. I was like, oh crap.
Yeah, no, he's the guy. If he's not
that position though,
if he's not on commentary, he's in their air with Vince. Like he's been around that long. But Cole's been around for years. He was like a Desert Storm reporter or something like that.
Yeah, he
was like CNN.
Yeah, he was a war correspondent.
Yeah, war correspondent. Thank you.
Yeah, no, because when I first started watching in like '99, it was like JR and King, and I think when SmackDown first started, who was it? Was it Cole and King, or Cole and JR?
I think it might have been Cole and Taz.
No,
it actually might
Cole
have
and
been
Taz,
Cole
which was a good combo.
It actually might have been Cole and Mick Foley, because Foley was a commentator for a little bit.
Yeah,
but he hated it
when SmackDown first started.
Even then, they were really good. You know what I mean? Like
you talk about those old school commentators or whatever. You know who you forgot about? Motherfucking Macho Man.
Oh yeah,
he hated it.
I know he was another. That's what made me think of it because he hated doing commentary as well, but he was still good at it.
Don't forget Dusty.
Dusty Rhodes.
Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby.
You guys like when JBL does commentary?
Love it.
Who?
I love it when he does.
JBL.
Oh, JBL was golden on him.
Nick, you should know this your damn self. JBL in the state of Rhode Island has a hall pass. That man can do whatever and say whatever he wants in the state of Rhode Island. Him and Eddie Guerrero in that cage match, he has carte blanche in our city. And he always gets a pop.
I think I only sent
if
it to
you
Rob.
will, baby.
I think I only sent it to Rob, but did you ever see the thing when Booker T was on commentary? And and Michael Cole was talking, and he's like, and anal bleeding, and Booker T looks at him and said, "Say what?
What? You didn't just say that."
Yo,
Booker T horrible on commentary.
Oh, you know what
he has a show in Houston called Hall of Fame, which is like terrible. They talk about like MMA and boxing, and you've got this like seasoned professional who's on reality wrestling with him. He's like, the thing about him, he's a guy, he can really go and he's good, and then there's like this other guy, and there's gonna two guys, and they're just gonna go in there, and they're just really gonna get it. And it's like, well, that pretty much told us nothing about what was gonna happen in that fight. So there you go.
Can I ask a question here to test my age? If my young age is showing here. So I was showing my girl the other day. So you remember when Vince McMahon dropped the N-bomb with John Cena?
Yeah. Jim Ross and Michael Cole were the first ones.
And Booker T showed up. Were they doing that at a shot at Booker T because of what he did back in the day in WCW events? Like, do you think that's what it... Because that hit me there. I could be a zillion % wrong. But that's the only thing I can think of, unless they were just being that ignorant.
That moment, Bruce Pritchard actually did bring it up, and he was like, "Okay," he's like, "This definitely would not work today." It was something for like entertaining shock value. It was in bad taste. He even admitted it was in bad taste then. It's bad taste now. He regret, they regret it, but they did it. Is what it is. Kind of.
Yeah, I just didn't know if it was maybe them.
And that goes back to, I think me and New Brandon was talking about that shit or whatever, about these storylines and these different scenarios or whatever. Mm-hmm. They had to clue them in on what the fuck they was gonna do or whatever. Yeah, I know Mike had to leave. I was like, it's up to that individual to be like, nah, man, I don't feel comfortable with that shit, But Booker T was like, fuck it, let it fly.
Like But is it ever weird? Like, could you imagine putting yourselves in that situation for the sake of entertainment, where it's like, oh, I'm gonna say this to you, and this is gonna be like, it's offensive, but it's gonna be for entertainment purposes. Like, I couldn't imagine like somebody like me cutting a promo and then somebody like calling me a cripple or something as part of like a promo or whatever. Like, I just couldn't imagine like talking to a person and having them like insult me in that way for the sake of entertainment. I don't know about you guys, but
I mean, I wouldn't I personally wouldn't want someone to call me a nigga. Sorry, B-Rob, swearing, but yeah, I mean, like, I personally would want it to happen, but if I'm getting paid millions of bucks and I am a quote unquote performer, yeah, because I'm gonna say some fucked up shit about you, but like if that's part of the deal. But personally, I wouldn't want it. Like, if somebody says to me on the street, I'll probably punch them in the face. But you know what I mean? Like,
right.
In context, I get it. Like if you understand, like, it's gonna draw sympathy or it's gonna do something like that, and it's part of the angle, and eventually you're gonna get the payoff in the end, I would. But at the same time, be like, no, fuck you.
What about the Triple H promo? Him and Booker T. Yeah,
I don't even know when anybody says that was racist as fuck.
Oh yeah, no, it definitely was, and
you can't tell me nothing different.
Oh, they brought that up. They brought that up too. See, the reason why, and I still disagree with this. The reason why that Booker T didn't go over, because they wanted Brock's title to be the only title to change hands that night. If you think back, WrestleMania 19, no other title changed.
It was only for Brock. Yeah,
it was only for Brock. That's the only reason why. But it's like, that's another one where they messed up, and even he admitted, it was like, if you're gonna do a racially charged storyline,
you need a payoff.
And there was no payoff whatsoever.
I remember,
and then
with school, being like, this is not right.
Yeah,
and then like, I'm like 10, 11 years old, like that's not right.
And then the thing with Triple H was he had to vanquish every major WCW champion anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, WrestleMania 31, when he faced Sting, he had all the heads in the bag. It represented all the motherfuckers from WCW that he vanquished.
Yeah.
Hey, did they show Lily on Raw yet? I know you have it on.
Yeah, they showed her. You just missed the grip. We have the TV on mute. Oh, and Rated RK Bro was freaking gold.
We didn't hear one word. Matt Riddle Randy Orton must have told him to shut it up, and he went like this and locked it. He's just sitting there in the back. Orton walks up to him, and he's like, and then Orton pretends to give him a key. He goes, bro. Like, it must have happened like over a half hour span. And he got an RK Bro shirt with the scooter and the snake on it. Right.
And the snake looks high.
I don't understand why I'm laughing at that, but that shit.
That shit was great.
But
and then
what happened with Lily?
Then apparently Riddle said something, locks it up, gives it to Orton, and Orton throws it in the trash, and Riddle's like, and he just skates away.
Dumb funny. It's dumb funny.
Yeah. What happened with Lily?
See, that's the thing. It's like I can deal with stupid shit as long as it's like meant to be entertaining. As long as it's like, because Riddle, the stuff that he does is dumb, but it's entertaining and it works.
Yeah,
like and that's fine. Like that's totally cool. It's when it's stupid and it feels forced and dumb that like that's when I'm like, really, like that's when I'm like, really, like they wasted 5 minutes, 10 minutes on this shit. But like with Riddle, it works because that's his thing.
Yeah.
Like, and that's what I think the problem is. Like sometimes with certain segments and certain things that they do is sometimes it's like it feels forced. It's kind of like how they were with Roman, where like he was face and everybody was booing him because he was booked the way he was booked, and then he comes back as a tribal chief, and I just hope the same thing doesn't happen to. Oh yeah, forgets the promo.
Cool.
Yeah, that was great. He forgot it again. What was it, Oscar that he forgot it against? And he just
I don't know.
But because he's a stoner. He's a stoner, yeah. Like, yeah, we gotta say, fuck this, I'm gone. Then you're like, that works for me.
Before we wrap up soon, what happened with Lily?
She just showed up. Lex was cutting a promo, and then that's it.
Yeah.
That's all we know.
No payoff yet.
Word.
I'm excited to see how that turns out, though. Like, I'm interested.
Eva,
oh my god!
Did you hear?
Wouldn't it be funny?
I saw the glare on his face. Look at his face. He's shaking his head.
Wouldn't it be funny as fuck, right? If they did all this shit for Eva Marie just exactly how they did it the last time, and she get released again, the same exact fucking way.
So, they're pairing her up with Piper. Is it Vixen? Is that how you say her last name?
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah,
They're gonna give her like bodyguards and shit.
Yeah, they're giving her a bodyguard, and essentially it's gonna help get both of them over. So when she debuts, she'll be like a manager talent more for her. Like she'll wrestle, but she's definitely gonna be the mouthpiece for her and Piper, which I'm cool with.
Look, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna hear her out. If she's gonna be a mouthpiece, I'm gonna hear her out. But if she can't do that, then I'll just be done.
My thing is, why would you do hype promos for weeks for a manager? If she's coming in as a manager, that's like I don't care. Like the fact,
that's kind of
The thing
you know what I mean? But like at the same time, it's like if she comes in and she has bodyguards and she can wrestle, cool. If she comes back and still doesn't know a wrist lock from a wristwatch, I'm going to shit on it again. I'm sorry. I don't care for this woman. Is she beautiful? Hell yes. She's fucking stunning. She's like damn near a perfect creation. The girl is beautiful, sexy as hell. And why the hell else should I care? You couldn't cut promos. You couldn't fucking wrestle. You couldn't even get to the ring on time. You realize the last time we saw Eva Marie in WWE, she was supposed to have a match. She didn't show up for the match, and they said that she got lost on her way to the arena. That's how they wrote this woman off.
And she called Jinder Mahal Ginger.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't care that she's coming back. I watched her on a season of Big Brother. Like, you know what I mean? Like, aside from that, I don't care about this. Sorry. I don't care about this woman. Like, I really don't care about Eva Marie. It's like, it's a waste of...
To me, I'm kind of the same way where it's like, if she doesn't get that reality TV star bullshit out of her head and actually focus on, I don't know, wrestling and being a part of the WWE, then get out of here. I mean, it's like you're either fully in it or you're not.
Not with WWE, homeboy. It's a business opportunity. You get what you can get out of it, and then you roll the fuck on, or you just roll with it.
I ain't gonna stop her. I ain't gonna stop her from getting her money. I just wouldn't get. I just don't give a damn if she's on my TV or not. Like I'll enjoy the view.
Yeah.
I'm not one of these people that's like all PC sensitive and shit. No, I'll admit it. I'll enjoy the view, but aside from that, I can care less. And my woman's right there.
I'll enjoy the HD goodness that's on my screen.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like that would just be the one thing. You know what I mean? Like, but if she does come back and she actually learned something, like you said, if she becomes a manager, I'm cool with that. Like if I don't got to watch her wrestle, okay. But if she does come back and she can't wrestle, it's gonna be the same old shit. If she comes back and she can wrestle, cool. I'm open to it.
All right. Closing words, Nick. What you got?
All right. So what's going to happen is we're going to be at SummerSlam. It's going to be a great time. The main event's going to happen, and then you're going to hear the winner, and then you're going to hear.
Motherfucking Goldberg. Huh?
Why? I hate you.
But I'm just trying to get myself in the mood for when it does, or if it happens, I can laugh about it and not be mad.
Okay.
If that happens,
you gotta record something. Like you either gotta record a video of yourself reacting to it as you're in the crowd, going nuts or something. Because I gotta see that. If that happens,
I'll have my phone right in Rob's face.
I need a TikTok of Rob.
I need that. I need that in my life.
This is what I'm reduced to now. Being angry black man at wrestling.
Angry.
I could just see.
Hey Rob, if you get that pissed, just run in the ring and hit it with a flatliner.
I'm on Gate's side, though. I'd rather.
The every black wrestler's finisher.
Yeah, it's ours.
Yeah, what I remember you guys were talking about that. Who did you guys say? I forgot. I remember you were
Every
talking
black
about it on the
wrestler has a
podcast.
variation of the flatliner.
Except for Kofi. Kofi got a kick, but pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, Kofi got trouble in paradise.
Mhm.
That's all I really got. I had a good time.
All right. So, New Brian, closing words. What you got on your mind before we ride out of here?
I think that we all can agree that we all have our different opinions on wrestling, and I'm glad that, I can actually have a civil discussion with people instead of going on the cesspool that is Twitter. and actually having an intelligent conversation with people. I'll say that right now.
All right. Old Brian and Carl, what you got?
No, you know.
I don't
If you
care
wanna
what
win-
Carl's got to say.
All right. If you want to win, make it a win.
To the moon.
This was fun. I just want to. I'm just looking forward to seeing what happens.
None of y'all caught the Titus O'Neil reference?
Yes.
One of the greatest promos of all time.
Hey, that's
You
a
mean
Hall of Famer.
you mean the genesis of the beginning of the era of the genesis of McGillicuddy?
I mean, I would go Eli Cottonwood, but nobody wants to remember that one.
No.
Hey, you watch what you say about Titus O'Neil. He's a Hall of Famer. Deserving for what he does, though.
Wait, what was the question, Nick?
No, I said, hey, you watch what you talk about Titus O'Neil. He's a Hall
Yeah,
of
he
Famer.
said Titus
But-
O'Neil's a Hall of Famer. You can't talk about him like that.
But he deserves it for what he does.
He does.
Final thoughts.
For you.
It's gonna be what it's gonna be. I'm gonna be in Vegas with pants on.
Let me ask. Can I ask them? I texted Rob.
Hot as fuck with pants on because I don't wear shorts.
Because it's gonna be Vegas. Everyone knows it's hot, and it's like the end of August. And I said, "Are you gonna be now? If you guys are one of them, I'm judging you. Just know this." But I text Rob. I'm like, "Are you gonna be one of those fucking psychos that walks around the Vegas in the middle of summer with fucking pants on?" And he said, "Yes."
But
then-
man.
Come on, coming
Sweat your
from
balls off, Rob.
coming from Rhode Island, you always see that one guy in the middle of winter, in the middle of a snowstorm, with
Wear
shorts.
With shorts.
Yeah.
But would you be
Shorts and boots.
Yeah.
Yeah, shorts and boots. Yeah.
But would you be walking around Vegas in August in pants? That's what I'm asking.
I mean, it depends. Like sweats, maybe, but then I gotta rock the LL Cool J and lift one pant leg up. But
See, but this is the
Yeah.
thing though. I'm getting at Vegas that morning. I don't know what we're gonna be doing. I'll probably have shorts on then. But when we go to the event, we're gonna be in an arena, somewhat cool and whatnot. Pants is logical. Then we're gonna get out of that bitch at night, which is gonna be cold in the desert. So I'm gonna have pants on.
It's gonna be
I mean,
hot.
you right. Yeah, that's actually.
It's actually smart. I didn't think about that.
Fuck Rob. I'm gonna wear a tank top in spite of him.
Yeah, you're gonna have a tank top.
Showing off the
He got tattoos to show.
I know he's showing it off.
Yeah.
No.
But anyway, I mean, that's all we got. I'm interested to see what's really going on with WWE as a company. If they buying, if they selling, if they trading, what the fuck is
Right.
going on? That's what I'm really intrigued about. I'm just excited to see what happens at SummerSlam. Well, leading up to SummerSlam, because I already know what's going to fucking happen once I get there. And yeah, that's about it. I appreciate you gentlemen for jumping in. Goops, Dan, everybody that popped in for the briefest of moments or whatever. And that's it. So we'll see you next time. On behalf of myself and Nick Anicelli, knock my head over. Does everybody want?
Man.
Old Brian, New Brian, and Carl.
I was waiting for it.